Thanks for staying with us on Breakfast Central. Last lap, yes, the final hour. Don't forget, you can be part of it by simply just calling the number you find on the screen as we take a look at some of the major stories on the front pages. We're going to start off right away, but first, we do have our guest who's here with us, the head strategy and public affairs. Talking about for Nairametrics, I beg your pardon, and public affairs analyst who's here with us, Mr. Uade Ahimie is here. Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Joe. Good morning, Joe. Good morning, Benga.
Good morning.
Great to have you. All righty.
Great to be here.
Let's go straight into it. Let's start off with Daily Independent. That'll be our very first paper this morning. First paper on Daily Independent, it says right there at the top, MPC experts back hold decision as inflation FX risks loom large. Experts back hold decision as inflation Forex risks loom large. Supreme Court has settled our leadership question according to LP. That's a Labour Party. Remember, Dati, entitled to his opinion, can associate freely. That's exactly the latest statements coming from Labour Party. Let's see another one. Subversion of people's will could lead to crisis. ADC says no end in sight to Nigerians suffering under APC. Another one, Sanwo-Olu launches, produce for Lagos, 500 billion. Yeah, we saw that yesterday as well. But let's focus on one of the stories very quickly so we can move on. Coalition won't work. Members are nomadic politicians, PDP says.
Wow.
What's your take on this one, Uade?
Wow. It won't work. Is it because the members are nomadic politicians?
It says because members are nomadic politicians. For the benefit of our viewers and those who are watching, let me just quickly define nomadic. Nomadic simply is a characteristic or a characteristic of a tribe or headers roaming about from place to place. Nomadic are people who are aimless frequently,
wow,
or without a fixed pattern of movement. In other words, they're just jumping from here, there, and so on.
So in this context, from one political party to another.
And it kind of like, fits in because you have a coalition of people who have jumped from one place to the other. And then you also had the FCT minister adding his voice to that, saying that Atiku Abubakar, please permit me to also read that before Wadi reacts to this. I just want to share, I want us to have a clear context of what it's about and what they're saying. So nomadic in terms of Atiku Abubakar also, Nyesom Wike, the FCT minister, also had this to say concerning the coalition. Many were waiting for him to speak, and did he speak? Yes, he did. He had this to say. He said Atiku Abubakar has been moving from one party to the other, stating that he wants to rescue Nigerians. Now, who does he want to rescue? His stomach? He also talked about that. Anyway, over to you.
Well, as I would agree with Nyesom Wike on Vice President Atiku. He's probably the most nomadic politician that we have in Nigeria, or we've had in Nigeria during this dispensation. He's moved from PDP to AC, back to PDP, now to ADC. But the fact remains that in Nigeria, most politicians are nomadic, and we've seen that in the MPL league that we started to cover.
Former President Olusegun Obasanjo is not nomadic. Former President Goodluck Jonathan is not nomadic.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't mention. I said
no,
most.
okay.
I said most
yes,
politicians, and I will give you an example. Some of the members of this coalition: PDP, APC, ADC.
Fantastic.
So I don't need to mention names. Do you understand?
Yeah, but
and that's why I said. So if, and when you look at it also, even the ruling party, AD to AC to APC. So it's just the change in name. There is no change in nomenclature of the things that they plan to do. Like I was listening to something earlier today from one of the analysts on one of the other radio stations, is that there is no ideology for any of these parties, whether it's PDP. It started with PDP and AD. The ideology was just who was going to who was going to get into the president, we zone it to the South-South. Oh, he has to be a Yoruba man in 1999. Was that the ideology for you to build Nigeria? In my own opinion, I don't think so. Like I continue to say, you don't have to, it's not from the zone or the region that you come from. It's what you have and you believe as a country called Nigeria, not as a member of South, whether it's South or North or East or 6 geopolitical reasons. It's how do you combine and harness the strengths and the weaknesses of those geopolitical regions into being Nigerian. And if that's what the new Nomadic, according to the report, is saying about these politicians, yes, they have, whoever made that statement, it seems to be right in the fact that many of them have jumped from different parties, and nobody seems to be able to tell me that it's an ideology that is moving you from one point to the other. The only thing I hear APC in 2014 was, oh, to remove Jonathan. And it's the same thing I'm hearing from the ADC today. Nobody's telling me what your manifesto is going to be. How are you going to, if you are unable to win the elections in 2027, how you will be that formidable opposition? And to give APC, their kudos in 2013, 2014, when they came out to be, they were a formidable opposition. Are you with me? They criticized the things that they felt were wrong about the Jonathan administration and so on. And so let's always look at all those things. And this history is not too long. I know our history in Nigeria is always short term, but this is not too long ago. This is 10 years, so it's still fresh in people's minds.
Back to that news item you're reacting to. The crux of the matter is they would not win. The PDP saying that the coalition would not win because they're nomadic politicians. How true is that? I mean, it took a coalition of nomadic politicians to oust the PDP in 2015.
Yeah, so the PDP is saying that, and like we've continually said, we've also seen some members of the PDP who says they will not leave the PDP, but they are going to back whatever the coalition has to do in terms of once they bring out their clear structure and agenda for 2027. So how do you know they are not going to win? In 2014, when the APC started, we didn't expect that the APC was going to win because the power of incumbency in Nigeria had retained status quo. So it's still 2 years away from an election. And like I say, and we continually said about the Nigerian political league, is this. 2 years is a long time. Why? Because over the next 2 years, you don't know who is going to cross from one point to the other, what the signing fees are going to be. So the negotiations are continually going on left, right, and center. Rumors in the papers that the governor of Ekiti State wants to join APC, and so on and so forth.
Let's take this call. Let's take this call. We do have Francis calling. Good morning, Francis.
Good morning.
Please go ahead and make.
Go ahead, but please speak up so we can hear you.
Yeah, it's actually laughable when you read something from the PDP people saying that the Nigerian politicians people in ADC are nomadic. It's very funny because from the first instance, if you check through the landscape of politicians that we have in Nigeria, you find out that most of them are just nomadic. Very few actually stem themselves from that kind of way of life. And you see, the driving force of our political people are not just about the masses. It's more about the change. It's more about the influence that they want to influence the society for a better change. They are always after their own belly. They are after what they want to eat. Parties are not structured to have ideology to save the masses. Parties are not structured to have ideology to help the country to grow. Parties are structured because you want to remove someone from power. You want to do this. This person is not doing this. This people is not doing this. Money is not coming to our own side. If we continue with that ideology, even the whole country is nomadic. Because we don't have plan. We don't have concrete plan that we are working towards. The ADC that is just from now, if you have them the ideology, you find out that there's nothing under it. They just come together to unseat the president. That's the way we are living in this country. And for me, that's why I've accepted myself from any political something. Because you see people coming together just for what? Just for the political party, giving name today, APC today, ACN tomorrow. Funny enough, next tomorrow you can see another name being changed. Without the change of character, without focus. And many people are still following these people all around. Hey, this is a political party. We have to have a national consciousness towards development of this nation. It's not about party. It's not about being nomadic. As everybody in Nigeria in politics are nomadic. Everywhere Bele, that's where we go to. May God help our country.
Amen. Thank you very much.
Francis, for calling. All right, let's have that paper on the screen again. Let's get to see some other stories right there. Daily Independent. Federal government elevates flooding challenges in Nigeria as a national security. So flooding challenges has been placed as national security. Let's look at another story quickly. This one says, IDPs in Benue lacking relief materials. EU raises the alarm. We did have the minister join us yesterday, and he said these things were handled. I wonder why. But anyway, let's wrap things up on the Daily Independent before Gbenga goes to the next one. Supreme Court has settled our leadership question, LP, Labour Party, and IDP. Which one you could take anyone?
Is there any recent judgment, or
yes,
they settled it with the last one that people are interpreting however they want to?
It's a lot. It's a lot to take. But maybe I could go to the next.
Yes, let's take a look at the front page of the Guardian newspaper. The Guardian newspaper front page says 43% spike in tax revenue spurs hope for fiscal recovery and deficit cuts. I'm sure Uade will be very interested in looking at that one. There's also police burst arms syndicate linked to Benue killings. And Vindicated says Onosoya as court strikes out loan controversy case. Tinubu APC leaders converge in Villa as NEC tackles crucial issues. Let's talk about the 43% spike in tax revenue for the average Nigerian. Uade, what does it translate to? That's a lot.
It should be a lot. And I always say this, is that when I see the headlines, let's go look at the details. I haven't seen these details, but that spike, what has brought about it? Is it more efficiency in collection? If that is what it is, then yes, this is good news. However, if it is because of the fact that the way the revenue from taxes are collected, part of it are in Naira, locally, some of them are based on foreign currency transactions. If this is the same, if it's the same ratios that you have over time, then it means that there's really nothing that has changed. The only thing that has changed is that if you used to collect $100 before and you're still collecting $100, it's no longer 460. It's now 1,600. So these are things, and like I said, when we use data, let's always be careful. Always be careful about how we look at data.
There's another headline here. The Pan-Igbo Cultural Group, Ohaneze Ndigbo, is saying, allow Tinubu, they're saying to Peter Obi, allow Tinubu to complete second term. Ohaneze tells Peter Obi, what do you make of this? And is there a danger of votes being split in the eastern region because of this pronouncement? And how much political capital does Ohaneze Ndigbo have?
I don't know how much political capital they have, but there won't be any crime in splitting the votes if the Ohaneze Ndigbo believes that the current administration has done well, both for Nigeria and the Southeast. Then they have the right to put their support behind the the current administration and the president. So that way is really their word against those of the electorate who decide who they are going to vote for. So at that point in time, when 2027 elections come and you go campaign, tell us what you've done, tell us what you promised to do if you are running to unseat the incumbent, and then we'll decide how our votes will go. But yeah, that's the Ohanaeze Ndigbo making their own statement and telling Nigerians or telling those in the Southeast that they think they would back Tinubu for a second time.
Okay. Let's take a look at the paper. Benga, so on that one, there's a story I think we should look at on The Guardian as well. The Guardian, look at this one. Port inefficiencies, corruption, spike inflation, logistics cost by 40%. I know this is a very interesting topic for you, Uade.
No, it's not news. It's not news.
It's what?
These things have been there forever. I remember last week when we were talking about... last week we spoke about the fact that, I think it was at the end of the show when people were saying, Peter Obi was a member of the port decongestion. That was in 1990, what? And we're still coming back to tell us 25 years later that the inefficiency is costing 40%. And that's the reality. If you go to the port, why can't we just harness a simple system that ensures that we can do all our activities or all our transactions online? We continue to talk about e-governance. We'll be talking about every government pledges so much money to buy new computers for e-governance, and every parastatal and agency does the same. But we just are not seeing it. We just are not seeing it. So this is not news to me. 40% spike, oh yes. That 40%.
But just last month, they said the price had dropped. Just last month, I remember reading that article, that the price had dropped. So now we're seeing...
Price of what? Of clearing your goods? Of clearing your goods,
and so on. So doesn't this include...
Prices were going up and down, yo-yo, at a point in time when the exchange rate was not right, because there was a particular week where they changed the exchange rate for payments and all 3 times in a week. Now it's a bit stable, so I don't know whether that's what makes prices, that have made prices go down. That's one. But secondly, is the Port Authority telling us that there is a bit more efficiency, that if you say you'll be able to clear and you have all your documentations and payments done, even before the goods come in, you'll be able to clear it in 72 hours. I haven't seen that. Even the congestion in terms of the number of trucks that block the road inside going into the port is a menace. Has all that been done? I don't think so, and I don't believe it has been done, except the customs comes out and tells us that all these things have been fixed.
Okay, let's take this call. Ibrahim is calling from Abuja. Good morning, Ibrahim. Thank you for calling us.
Good morning, News Central. I just want to comment on the statement that Saraki made yesterday that those in coalition in ADC are nomadic politicians. You see, the party, the Nigerian government, this APC of Nigeria, have made all Nigerians nomadic. You see, Japa is nomadic. People are Japaing even to Niger, to Cameroon, to these countries that were cobblers, were cleaners in Nigeria, because they have made the economy a terrible economy that even a beggar cannot survive in Nigeria. Beggars don't get those who even give them money. Saraki and those guys who were there in that PDP meeting were the ones who destroyed PDP themselves. Wike is the worst nomadic. In fact, he pushes animals into grazing in people's farm because APC is not his farm. He's feeding fat in APC and he's using the money to destroy PDP, and they don't have the courage to even sack him from the party. So they are the worst. PDP and APC are the worst nomadic. While APC have made the poor and Nigerians nomadic, the PDP are grazing in other people's farm. That is APC's government, and they are destroying their own party. Why would those who want to salvage Nigeria leave APC and PDP to find a place where they can collude and save Nigerians? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that. Any thoughts before we move on to our next paper?
Well, human beings in general are nomadic, and what pushes human beings to be nomadic is economic and social issues around you. So if you get a new job, of course you move. If the economy doesn't pay you in some place, you look for something better. But people remain where they are, where they see one, stability, where there are true value systems, which is what the two callers have spoken about. There are no value systems within our parties, whether it's the APC or the AD or the APN or is the PDP and so on. And then the third one is when you have an ideology, people stick to that ideology. So I would stay with you when I believe in your ideologies and your theories, and I will work with you on them towards making, and I continue to say, Nigeria a better place, and that's it. But yeah, everybody, the political class in Nigeria is really, really nomadic. You mentioned the two of the former presidents never leaving their parties. But I remember President Obasanjo tearing his PDP card over the incumbent president then, and saying that, oh, he had not done properly. So what does that say to me? He might not have left.
Retiring from partisan politics.
Exactly. So if you retire from the party, you don't discard the ideologies that you have by tearing your party card. That's a big statement from a former president of this country.
Okay, this one we're talking about party ideologies. Let's see if the new political party, the coalition, would have a unification of ideologies.
Well, for now, the ideology is how do we kick out President Tinubu in 2027.
When we interviewed the Lagos chapter chairman of the ADC, he said that's not their ideology. That their ideology is people focused, the people first, from the ward level to the top, and that their main goal is to provide a viable opposition.
So obviously, they are not amplifying that properly.
Tomato.
In my own opinion.
I think they are almost the same thing anyway. But I want us to go to take a story on The Guardian before I take the next paper. 2027, Amechi rally supporters against election rigging in Rivers. We played a video earlier where former Governor Rotimi Amechi, also the former Minister of Transportation, was addressing the people of Rivers State. So I want to quote something for you that he said, and then we can react to that. He said, every Rivers man who thinks good of the state and country should move to register with the new party and ensure that we remove the current government and stop the hunger that everybody is suffering from. If you are not tired of President Tinubu, I'm tired of President Tinubu. If you're not hungry, I'm hungry. If the rich men are spending 4 million naira a month on electricity, only God knows how you are surviving. And the president says he doesn't care. The president says he's not here to make you happy, but ADC is here to make you happy. He said, now this is a very important segment. He says, Rivers State is notorious for writing election results. When they write results, they claim they have won. I will not work with you if you work with those result snatchers to announce results. God will bless all of us, the former Rivers governor told the supporters who stormed the Port Harcourt International Airport on Magua in large numbers. Your reaction to this? Now, this is a very strong statement he's made there. Very, very strong statement, basically trying to rally the people of Rivers State to support the ADC. With all the drama that's happened in Rivers State, particularly looking at how Governor Sim Fubara had been suspended, how the sole administrator had been put to stand and operate in his stead, the criticism leveled against the sole administrator, the protests and counter-protests, and the seeming unrest that Rivers State has had to experience in the past couple months, not necessarily because of violence, but more because of politics and governance taking a backseat. Do you think Rivers State people are ready for a change in this regard?
The only thing that's static in life is change. But let's also remember that Governor Rotimi Amechi was governor for 8 years of Rivers State. And I'm trying to think through those 8 years. What major electoral reforms did he pass within the state? Because it's easy to come out and criticize. Are you with me? Under the same, under the same, this same person under the national administration, you get? Passed an electoral reform act, and things didn't work, and nobody amongst them came out to validate, what happened or what couldn't have happened. You can't be member of governance, and then is when the thing kicks back against you that you remember that, we're hungry, people are this, Rivers State. Rivers State has, from time immemorial, under elections, has been one of the most electoral violent states in this country for as long as I can remember. So what have you done, or what did you do? It's easy to talk to people and rally people. What are you even trying to do now? Are you speaking to members of the National Assembly that are from Rivers State on how electoral reforms should be done? What are these people? Yeah, they might not be members of your party, but if you want to speak for the people and speak with the people, then you should also be speaking to these people, because you all know each other one way or the other. So for me, yes, they are bold statements, but action speaks louder than words. I'll leave it at that.
Okay, Olive.
All right, let's move to another paper.
Nigerian Tribune.
On the Nigerian Tribune front page, APC moves NEC meeting to presidential villa. Whoever emerges as our chairman will promote party interests, Uzodinma says. PDP leaders drum reconciliation, issue warnings ahead of NEC meeting. We can resolve our differences, Saraki says. Ghana seeks support for southern candidate. Ogun, Rivers, top death row inmates list. 3,833 inmates on death row. Organ transplantation, surgeons revive dead heart for infant transplant. EU unveils 1.5 million euro support for victims of Benue crisis. Oh, wow. That's amazing. 4 more PDP senators defect to APC as Senate majority grows to 70. I am vindicated, says Onosonya, as court strikes out loan deal. Recall that this has been a matter that's been within the purview of the court, and the former MD CEO of First Bank, Dr. Olabisi Onosonya, has said that now he's vindicated after the Federal High Court in Lagos has struck out the controversial loan-related case involving his name. Then we see CSOs withdraw petition against NMDPRA boss and tender apology. Osun Assembly, members back Adeleke, residents vow to seek with him. So, first of all, Adeleke throwing his support behind President Buhari. Sorry, I beg your pardon, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. See what has happened again. Every spirit of... Anyway. Governor Adeleke throwing his support behind President Bola Ahmed Tinubu had come with a lot of reactions. There are those who felt you're still in the PDP and now you're throwing your support behind the APC. This is obviously giving political alliances because you're trying to secure
anti-party
yourself.
activities.
And it's anti-party. However, I know the anti-party thing seems to be a norm now, with people in their political parties declaring allegiance and serving in other political parties. Nyesom Wike seemed to be the flag bearer of this move. And now we're seeing people still in their political parties showing their support for the ADC, the coalition. So let's get your thoughts first about Adeleke throwing his support behind President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and then his residents vowing to stick with him.
Okay, so we'll continue with the analogy where we stopped from last time. Remember, Benga, thank you for bringing it up the last time. The loan deals are beginning to work out now.
All right. And I'll have you, speak to that. But before you speak on that, let's hear Eddie talking about. Good morning, Eddie, calling from Rivers State. Please go ahead.
Okay, good morning, gentlemen in the studio. I want to just kick in on the statement presented by the former Rivers State Governor Rotimi Amechi and the Minister of
Transportation.
If you look at that statement critically, you will know that the statement that is an irony, and he himself has been in government since 1999. He has always seen that people are hungry. He has been a part of government in the corner of government. He always seen that government always trick elections. It's now that we know that Nigeria are hungry. It's now that he's making statement that Nigeria are doing a lot of wrong things. He has been a speaker. He has also been a minister. And under the administration of Buhari, which he was a minister of transportation, we know everything that transpired during that period where people were buying money under the administration of President Buhari. He was a minister. So at what point did we now know that Nigeria are hungry? We are buying a pack of rice, 80,000 naira. So at what point now we now know that Nigerians are hungry? So Nigeria are not fools. Because we want to be relevant, we want to become president, we start bringing facts that will convince the masses. We are not fools. We are grassroots. We know who is right and who is doing things well. So let him just wait until 2027. If the ticket will give it to him, no problem. Then go to the field. So that's my conviction about him. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Eddie. So basically speaking about former governor.
Said at what time did he know that Nigerians are hungry?
Which is kind of what...
At what time he did become Nigerian? Was it 2 years ago or from 1999 when he was speaker for 8 years, governor for 8 years? So in 16 years, like I said, I didn't see any electoral reform bills that were passed even for the state. Because the irony of it is in 1999, local government elections were held. Local government elections, I think according to the situation, are supposed to be held every 3 years. But since that 1999 election, all the state governors have systematically killed local government elections. Systematically. So how do we even speak to our constituents when some people don't even know who the local government chairman is or who the councillors of the wards are? Until, like Lagos now, when they had the elections, I just see posters. And it seems to be only one party that is contesting for the elections, quote and unquote.
Yeah,
anyway, and that's it. Let's come back to what we're talking about in terms of what's it called. The loan deals are getting better. They're becoming more structured. We've seen the early loan deals. Well, those ones are not loans. Those were outright purchase transfer. But the Adeleke zone seems to, he's trying to hang on the balance.
But he is not going. It's just...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's a loan deal. Some of his, what's it called, have moved to the, what's it called, those ones have been purchased outright. But Adeleke has decided to sign a loan deal with the leaders of with the current defending champions of the MPL.
What happens at the PDP convention and they produce a formidable candidate? Can he change his mind? Can you go back to your parents' club?
Oh yes, you are. It's a loan. If the other club decides that you're not performing well, they'll send you back now. That's how loans work. So what's the time limit for the loan? So it could be short-term loans. Every 3 months we look at it and then we renew it. And those are things that, and that's why the Nigerian political scene is really, really interesting to me. I continue to use the analogy of football because it resonates to a number of people. But that's what it is. So first they've agreed on a loan transaction. How long that loan will be? Will it run till 2027? But that's what they say now. That's the agreement. But the dotted lines could say reviewed every 3 months or every 6 months. And then even Adeleke himself can decide that in that 6 months he wants to renege on the loan deal if his current club can pay all these, what's it called, entitlements to him. And it's the same thing with Wike. He's on a long term. Well, the first term of the loan is almost coming to an end, so probably going to renew it because his current club cannot pay all his fees and entitlements to him. And those are the intricacies of 2027. But like we said at the beginning, what is the ideology? If the ideology is just to unseat an incumbent president, we saw 2015, change that never, in my own opinion, change that never moved beyond, what's it called? And then next level that was more like one chance, in my own opinion. And we've seen how that change and next level has taken us into the real next level that we really are in. And I'll leave it at that.
Tough situation, tough decisions to also make. But let's get to see one last story. Let's see if we have one. Police bust arms syndicate linked to Benue killings.
Yes.
Is this another sensational story just to spike excitement and interest and accolades?
Well,
or should we expect what should be done? I mean, what's your take though?
Are you excited about this?
Are you excited?
Well, so first and foremost, yes, it's good to hear this, but the next thing will be what kind of further investigations are they going to carry out to find out not just the syndicates with the guns, but those who are also behind the funders and the financiers of all these syndicates that you have, because there's no fire without smoke, or how do they put it? And that's what it should be for me. Yeah, good news, but I hope it's not just going to die with this headline that they've crushed the syndicate and that's the end. What further investigations are being carried out? I know that the president has said that they must get to the bottom of this, so I hope they will get to the bottom of it. And then secondly, based on all the information or they will gather through the investigation, that they will be able to now start to provide the right security architecture, not just for Benue, but across the country as a whole.
All right.
I mean, if you look at the details of that story, they were, first of all, it says disturbed by recent act of violence, with the local council of Cross River State. Senator Jaribe Agom has condemned the gruesome murder of a young man from Sa community in Benue State, calling for urgent action from security agencies to restore peace and justice. So when they were explaining what exactly had happened, they said the raid followed credible intelligence linking the location to bandits involved in the deadly Yewata killings. A fierce gun battle ensued, forcing the suspects to flee with injuries. In the aftermath, police recovered 2 GPMGs from the hideout. Further gains were made on July 8, 2025, when 25-year-old Abubakar Issa was arrested during a tactical stop and search operation along the Lafia-Makurdi Expressway in Benue State. He was caught with 3 AK-47 rifles and 1,002 rounds of 7.62 millimeters live ammunition. Investigations revealed the weapons were supplied by a well-known arms dealer, Jacob Adigu, based in Abinsi, Guma local government area. Wow.
Has he been arrested now?
Yeah, it would seem that he has. They said the recovered items were reportedly headed by one Dan Hassan. Okay, so there's even like
yeah, so that's what we're talking about. So there's a syndicate, so you must continue to use the arrest to gather the information to investigate further, because it could go beyond these people.
And it could go beyond them and then be linked to other states, like we're seeing here.
Exactly.
The other states that have been. Yeah. Anyway, so kudos to the police when they do the good one.
We'll
applaud them.
You must give them that credit, and like I always say, give credit to when the good things are done. Give that credit, but let them, based on that, also go further, and so that we can continually give them the credits that they deserve.
And as they are unlocking, unearthing who these armed syndicates are, we hope that they can use that same ginger to flush the ones who are giving the police a bad name and a bad reputation within the Nigerian police. Flush them out, because you can't be doing a good job and there's some people on the inside who are making your job look bad, such that when the Nigerian police is being mentioned, you then start to worry about the reputation that they have following them.
Bad eggs in the
bad eggs.
Well,
you have to break it like an omelette.
And I think Nigerians should also try as much as possible to speak about those kind of things when they see them, because we always turn a blind eye to a number of things and just say, oh, the police is bad. But really, the police will say, the police is your friend. And if you see the bad eggs, please let them know.
And as we wrap up this police conversation, just to mention that we've extended an invitation to P1 Real Estate Company. We sent an email. We would like to invite you to Breakfast Central, because we want to have a conversation that reflects both sides of the divide. We're also going to be speaking with Scotty Guma, who has gone on social media to recount his experience, a rather harrowing experience of how he was handled by the Nigerian police, stripped of his fundamental human rights, and how P1 can also be made, fingers can be pointed at P1 in all of this situation. But Uade, it's always a pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having me as usual. Have
See you
a
at
great
the next
rest of the
political transfer season.
Yes, it's going to heat up very soon.
It's heating up. We
It's
said
still-
this thing in
it's still
June.
there.
May, June, we said
It's
that.
going to be super hot.
And thank you for bringing up that suggestion. Those loan structures are, they are more complicated than outright purchase.
Absolutely.
This is where we wrap up today. Thank you very much for joining
Thanks for
us.
watching,
Thank you to our
guys.
virtual audience for being a part of the conversations as well. We'll see you tomorrow. I am Olive MOD.
And I'm Benga Borowa.
And I'm Joe Hansen.
And he's Uade Ahimie. And you are you. And we'll see you tomorrow.
And you are you.
Bye-bye.